teaches is that when you destroy a currency, devalue the currency, make it worth less by printing too much of it, it damages the middle class the most. It wipes out the middle class, and wealth gravitates from middle class to the wealthy. All you have to do is look around today. Wall Street's doing quite well. The banks can borrow money at 1% and loan it out again to the government at 3%, and they make enough money. And they won't loan it out because of the circumstances of the business that are trying to get started. So even though there's a lot of credit out there, there are certain people that won't just let this credit go. And this is a consequence of policies that should be changed and can be changed, because we've given up and we've allowed the people to regulate the market and take over rather than letting the market operate. The free market can provide the jobs. Governments can't provide jobs. That's not the responsibility of the government. In a free society, the responsibility of the government is to protect your freedom. And a few other things. Provide a strong national defense to protect property rights, protect contract rights. How about giving us a sound currency? How about a prohibition against counterfeiting? You and I can't counterfeit. Why in the world do we allow the Federal Reserve to counterfeit? Is not complex. It's rather understanding liberty as Thomas Jefferson understood it. He understood where it came from and the responsibility of the government. And our liberties don't come from our government. It comes from our Creator, or it comes to us in a natural manner, and it belongs to us. Life and our liberty is a consequence of a natural course of events or a gift from our Creator. It fits to say, it follows through to say that if it's your life and your liberty and you're ambitious and you work, the fruits of your labor ought to belong to you. You should have it. Idea called the incentive system, which we've essentially undermined. Today, the incentives and where all the money goes to try to redistribute wealth is not the creation of new wealth. It's all put into paying for the lobbyists and paying for the politicians to go up and grab hold of a small piece of a pie that is shrinking. And that's why we have to change something. The pie has to be growing, and it has to be in the marketplace, and it has to be a reward for your effort. But because this is ending, the system that we've experimented, especially in the last 40 years since we destroyed totally and completely the restraints on the Federal Reserve and on our monetary system and no longer have a gold standard. This last 40 years has been an experiment in a policy of economics called Keynesian economics, interventionism, planned economy, welfareism, inflationism. The results are in. It doesn't work. It's not worth the effort. If you don't change it, it's going to get a lot worse. We want to opt out for free markets and sound money and property rights. That's what right. Somewhere along the way, 100 years ago or so, and that is when about the time we had an income tax introduced in the Federal Reserve, changed our foreign policy, but something else happened. Somehow or another, our country took freedom and chopped it into pieces. And some people defend one part of it, and other people defend another. Sometimes it's a political party, one versus the other. But they don't defend liberty as a whole. Liberty means your right to your life and the right to your property. But some people think, well, the government is responsible to protect your right in free enterprise and have less regulations and less taxes. But somebody else might say, well, freedom means that they ought to stay out of my life. It's my life. I can do with my own body, mind, and soul what I want as long as I don't hurt other people. And other peoples defend that. But why can't we defend this as a whole? It's your life and your liberty. It should be your personal life as well as your economic life. Under those circumstances, it's a wonderful experiment because it will create the greatest prosperity. But the other part that I love about it in the freedom philosophy and the Constitution, it's not divisive. It brings people together. If you really understand liberty, you're not so judgmental about telling other people what to do with their lives and tell them how to instruct them or how to spend their money. And the Constitution defends that. So this brings diversity together, and if people want to use their life or, in a positive way, or if they want to waste their life, it's up to them. You can be responsible for your own life, your family, your friends, and your neighbors, and you can persuade people on through your church. But when the government assumes this responsibility that it's going to moralize with you and tell you what to do with your life and moralize with you on how they're going to take your money and take it and give it to somebody else who might not be so ambitious, it ruins the whole thing. Liberty can solve